Yeah, you were right. I was mute. Okay, so embarrassing. My bad, my bad. Sorry. Again, thanks. I hope you can hear me now. So I will repeat. I was saying that I wanted to check that you can hear me, you can see me. Good now. Yes, now. Okay, perfect. Okay, I see some people still can't hear me. So let's see. Yes, we can hear you now. Okay, perfect. Maybe a late comment. So, first of all, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate your effort for assisting these events, and I hope to give you some advices, some knowledge that improves your career, improves your life. I don't know, something. I hope you can get something from this talk, right? So, hello. I see Franco. Hello, Achal Bengtak. Hello, Skitty24, Bokuto, Eats, Manonga, Rash, Amisip. I see a lot of people. Okay, uh, so first, before I start showing my slides, I want to ask, what's your experience with open source? And I invite you to be as much participate as you can. So please let me know on the comments if it is your first time that you hear the word open source. Did you knew it before, but you haven't tried to contribute it? And if so, what stops you for contributing? Like, you know that open source is for everyone, and you can take a project and improve it. So why haven't you contributed? And this is the most important question I think I will ask this session. Why you haven't contributed before? And I will say I think I have the answer, but I first I want to hear it from you. So please here on the comments, let me know. Um, For example, here, this is a very great answer. A monthly imposter syndrome, feeling like my contributions won't add to the project. And this is the main reason I wanted to give this talk. We'll see during the slides that every contribution matters. And having this imposter syndrome prevents us for doing great things, for contributing, for adding to the project because we think we are not enough or we don't have the proper skills or everything, right? um, Here, for example, we have seen that heard of it but couldn't contribute. I knew about open source, always wanted to be part of it, but somehow didn't know how. Okay, that's amazing. For example, for this one, I'm going to give another session tomorrow on the workflow of contributing in open source, more in a technical way. But here we are going to talk about how to contribute, not even writing code. We don't necessarily need to be experts, not even know with writing code. But I mean, like, you don't even need to contribute in the way you will think you can contribute to a project that it's with code. You can do it with the many ways, and I will go talking about those ways. Let me see. Oh, a lot of comments. I love this. Thanks for being so participative. I'm already doing open source contributions. This is awesome. So please tell us, what are you contributing? What project? What are you doing? And how are you doing this? This is great. Saving complexity and lack of skills needed. Again, you you are going to be surprised that you don't need that much of skills. You do not need to be an expert. And again, this is the most important thing about this talk. Stop thinking that you need to be a pro or a master, a PhD, a contributor. No, 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 no. You can do small things that in the sum, like all of those little things you do apport so much to the project, right? Hi Alberto, not first time of open source, though the prerequisites of the base code it's adherence of beginner to code tech. Yes, I'll say for some projects, if you think of really big projects that requires very specific tags in very specific languages, you can think of this. But not all projects are like that, and even those have like the issues for beginners, like beginner friendly, your good first issue, like small contributions. Remember, not always you need to be that expert, and it is not true that much of them are not beginner friendly. The real truth is that lots of big projects, lots of open source communities has these beginners and intermediate and then advanced issues that you can contribute with. I got aside a code issue, but it looks super complicated. Even thought I was a good first issue. Okay, yeah, this can happen. But don't let that let you down. Like, you can take it like a challenge for yourself and try to learn how to solve that good first issue, even if it was complicated, even if it maybe wasn't a good first issue. It was maybe bad tag, or persons who tag it just believe it was very simple, but the truth it wasn't, right? So yeah, don't let that affect you. Try with another one, but still try to complete that. And here, for example, we will talk about more on how to contribute and not with code. So it won't have that necessary, you know, uh, large code base. Okay. Familiar with open source, explore many repositories, still lacking contribution. Okay, I hope you can do it this Hacktoberfest. I hope you make your first contribution this month. So, know about open source, but never tried contributing because always thought don't have necessary skills. You do have. I I guarantee you have the necessary skills to contribute. Hi Alberto, I've contributed to our university open source testing platform. That's amazing that the university have it. Mine doesn't have, and I will love to have something like that in my university. If you try to, no, sorry, open source testing platform, but for other projects, I'm too scared because I don't know how to approach exploring that stack before making contributions. Okay, maybe today's talk will help you sort that. And if you still have questions, come back tomorrow and we will talk more in depth about that. Um, want to know how to do no code contributions? Amazing. This is the session for you. So follow these steps: fork, clone, create branch, code, commit, push, change, create peer. Okay. Very good and practical guide. So everyone take notice of this because yeah, it is true. Um, very good. Thanks a lot. Hi, reach out certificate. Okay. I wish that there were more opportunities to pair program and co-author PRs. Yeah, I mean, I know some. For example, here at the Major League, we have the open source track and the fellowship. So apply now. But even there are the authorships for GitHub education. So you can apply for those. What else I know? Yeah, there are a few of it. Want to know how to do no-code contributions? Again, excellent. This is the session for you. The problem it is hard to me to find good first issues or open source project that needs PPL to work on. Yeah, I think. Well, for this comment, I will not be so sure. Uh, Again, we'll see it in the slides, but one thing that it's repeatedly mentioned on the open source contributors is that you don't need to wait for them to tell you what to do. You can start being like proactive, like saying, "Hey, I didn't like this about the documentation. I didn't like this other thing about this feature. This feature. I don't know. I improved the color schema. Here's my idea. I don't know. Be like more participative, proactive. Start experimenting. It start exploring your tools. It start using open source tools, so you can realize what they need and how you can um contribute to that. Right. So, hi, Free C. Please tell me more. Would like to contribute? Okay. I have made a lot of small contributions. Check out my. Okay, amazing. Head to Manacode's GitHub repo and check it. Uh, Anybody who needs help with their contributions, can message me. Okay, thanks. So, if you need help with your contributions, message Manacodes on GitHub. Uh, Thanks for being so supportive. It's only me or it's Alberto face cam stuck. Oh, it doesn't matter if you can see me or my face is stuck. The important thing is that you can hear me, right? So if any moment Okay, if any moment I lost connection or anything with my voice, camera, etc., let me know here in the comments. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's frustrating for me. Yeah, it's talk. It's cool talk. Can isn't the important part. Yeah, thanks. Um, Thanks, Audrey. Bertu's face frozen. Yeah, it's frozen. Yeah, but it better that he fixes. Okay, I will stop my camera and restart it. I don't know if that helps. Maybe, but let me know. My camera is still frozen, or you can see me well now. I'm going to wait for you here in the comments. Meanwhile, I'm going to stop camera. Yeah, it's frozen. Still frozen. Okay, let me try something. I don't know if my camera is still frozen, but can you see my slides now? It's supposed to say like no code open source contribution and the Hacktoberfest 2023 logo. No, you can't see it. Okay, that's a bad thing. Let me. Okay, I restart this. I leave the session and rejoin it because it is very important that you can hear me, and see my slides. So again, can you see my slides? Slides, sorry. I see it now. Okay, perfect. Yes, amazing. Thank you all for your confirmations and for being participative here on the comments. So, let's start with our presentation here. No code open source contribution. It's a talk inspired by John Picosi from a conference they did about open source. I am going to um, share the link here to the full talk if you want to see it. I recommend you to see it. So, the agenda. We are going to see what is a non-con contribution, who is an open source contributor, why to contribute, how to contribute, and then we can go through questions and answers, right? First of all, well, no, I'm going to share the links at the end. So let's start. What are no code contributions? Okay. Uh, well, if you ask Google, we'll say that any contribution that helps but that doesn't help a lot, right? Uh, it's like trying to define definition. So um, I don't know. Google didn't help this time, but John Picasso help us with a better understanding of what non-com contributions are, because he tells us that it's providing your time, skills, and resources to benefit a project. In this case, specifically, the skills im- did not mean code specifically for this case. It more means like getting your time. If you are good in project managing, if you are good in design, if you are too good writing, if you are good in whatever thing you think you can provide to the project. For example, here we said the no code contributors are the secret for the open source success. I got this line from an article written of the README project from GitHub. So, they said, and they tell us that the no code contributions are the secret to the open source success. So what's that? From the documentation to the management, every process that does not require code writing uh, can be supportive for for these non-code contributions to power the open source. If you're familiar with any product, you mention from the simplest thing, a package, an API, I don't know, to an app, power app, I don't know, a mobile app, whatever product you can think of. There are a few things involved in this product development that there are no code. Again, the documentation is an example, but the management, the how to organize the team, the community behind it, the asking and answering questions, like doing the fact, um, doing these, like educate the people, creating educational content, everything. So there's a lot of ways that are non-code that you can contribute to a project, and these are the ones that makes the the open source project success, not the code ones. So let's go to the next slide, and let's ask us, who is an open source contributor? Well, early on, we used to think that the contribution implied writing code, but now I want you to change your mindset, because no, we need to learn that no code contributions are just as contributions that the code ones. So here I highlighted that because it's the most important thing. Any contribution, it's contribution. And remember, we were talking about before that why you didn't contribute it before, and one of the first comment was the accurate answer. I wasn't trying to point that here I find it mostly imposter syndrome, right? Feeling like my contributions would won't add to the project. Well, we see here that these no-code contributions from the past slides are the main the core of the open source, right? And every contribution, it's a contribution. So you can't say that your contribution won't add to the project, because the real thing is that if you contribute with the documentation, if you contribute with the um, with any other thing related to the management, related to education, related to the community, related to the other things, you will be contributing in a bigger way than even with code, maybe. Uh, okay, we have a message here for Mana codes about that you cannot message on GitHub, but you can connect with him on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or any other. So, as he was trying to help you with your contributions, I would recommend you to follow him or to go to these accounts to reach out, right? Translation, it's another way for no code contribution. Yes. So let's go to that. But before, I want to take a moment before going on how to contribute, to take the importance on why to contribute, because many of you have thought of this of, I have heard of open source, yes, I have even tried, but maybe I don't have the right reason, right? And this is very important. Many people contribute simply because they want to give back to the community, but this is not always the main reason, right? Some other people do it for the money. I here want to tell the truth. Uh, Not always it's related about the money, but I will say my favorite reason it's this that the community. But it also makes you feel good. It gives you career development. It helps you make it connection, network. It also makes you improve your skills. Again, for example, talking about these octernships, these fellowships on the open source strike, we do this because going to contribute and contributed to open source have lots of advantages. These are some few of them. We have another comment here. You can also contribute by writing articles. Yes, this is the one I was talking about, the education. Thanks for adding all of this. And this is like open source, right? Because I am giving this talk, but you are contributing to the talk by adding more examples, by, for example, as mana codes, uh, giving your contact info so you can network and you can help the other students here. And give kudos. Yes, that's very important too in open source. So you will see, we build an amazing example on this talk about contributing to open source. But I have more reasons here, and you will think like, oh, it's a lot of text, but these are really important quotes I wanted to show you. Because you mentioned that you don't feel skilled enough. You don't feel that your contributions are will have an impact. You mentioned a lot of things that are not necessarily true, right? Let's see the first one. Programmers benefit from sharpening their node code skills, particularly in writing and communication. Plus, experience in writing, support, or community organizing can help you pivot into roles like developer relations or production manager. This is a reason of why to contribute. If you didn't feel um, secure enough, if you didn't feel like, hey, why should I take my time and contribute to open source, that's a lot of problems, I better not. Well, I give you here two reasons. uh, these will give you, plus the extra I see on the previous slides. uh, you can sharpen your skills. You can benefit from the networking. You can benefit from increasing your contributions. Just here, for example, as Manacos tell us, he has it on their GitHub, so he can come here and say like, hey, I have contributed to a lot of projects, go and check my GitHub, go and check my profile, go and check these, go and you can easily show how skilled you are. You can easily show and well, for example, in a interview you can say like, hey, I did this, this is my contribution. Well, that's the main reason, and a lot of reasons have how and why you can contribute. There are opportunities for people of any skill level to get involved, and this is another big thing you need to have in mind. You don't need to have a computer science degree or an English degree, for example, for doing translation. For the matter, you you don't need them to write documentation. Even if you're not a strong writer, well, you need to start somewhere, right? And having the opportunity to write documentation for a project you like, and then revisit and read it again, you can even improve yourself in that skill. That it's not a hard skill. It is not code writing. It is just writing and being more talented on having that on writing in English. Well, that also open doors. So here, for example, one thing I want to stress through it is raises an issue before you make a contribution. Doing this does the following: allows you to practice your presentation skills, allows you more people to give their perspective of your idea, make it easier to maintain to organizers to projects. Yes, that's another thing. You don't necessarily that I will come back to this because I have it in the next slide. But first, I want to close up this slide with the last quote. And I was talking to you about this article from the Arrhythmia Project. So here in the other article, I found this other that the Arrhythmia Project asked maintainers what type of open source contribution they will want, and although the most popular answer was with code, it was just with 62% of the votes. But the other one third of the respondents will prefer documentation, design, or testing on contributions. So you will say that, again, sorry, you will see that it is not true that your no-code contributions won't add to the projects because even the maintainers of the projects realize that these no-code contributions are essential, important, vital to the project's health. So here you will see that even that code technical contributions still the most popular. They are just over the half of the popularity, just over the half of the votes. More than one third want no code contribution, and you can do those contributions with the skills you have. You can speak English because you're here, so I'm very sure you can write it and you can understand it, and even you have a big advantage in that because I'm very sure most of you, just like me, are not English speakers natively. So I can read a documentation in English and I can translate it to Spanish, which is my native language. I can read it and can write it and can translate and complement a documentation for a project I like. And that's a big contribution, right? So let's get on that. How to contribute. We will see here a lot of ways on how we can contribute. I highlighted three of them, which is advocate, documentation, translate, but we'll have more ways to contribute on the bottom right, right? But let's talk first of the advocate. So the easy way on we can start contributing to open source is use open source, right? Choose to use open source tools before before other tools. So I will give you some links on how you can choose open source before the other ones. For example, the first thing you can do is Google it. Go to Google, and before I'm going to give some names here, and I don't want to mean that these are bad tools, these are not good. software. No, no, no. I just want to say that having the priority on using open source tools helps you to contribute to those projects, right? So instead of using, I don't know, Trello, go and type open source alternative to Trello, X technology, to a Kanban tool. And you can see, for example, Weekend, which is an open source alternative to Trello. Instead of using Word, instead of using Google Documents, etc., take a look to LibreOffice. I don't know. There are a lot of tools. And for example, you can head to alternative.net and you can compare these tools to their open source alternative. So, for example, you can head here alternative.net, software's open source directory. What else we have? Uh, mm, you can head to Sandstorm's App Market, which is another open source good way to find. I see a comment here about the stream being stuck. Uh, I don't know if it is stuck or it is me, just my camera. But if you can hear me and you can see the slide that it's how to contribute, we are good, right? So yeah, you can take a look of these leaks. You can just code alternative to open source alternative to, but yeah, advocate the easiest way to contribute to open source is use open source, be a open source user, choose open source over private code over private software. um, yeah. So the next one, documentation. Sorry, I got lost reading some comments here, but I will save those comments for the translate and the documentation things. So documentation, we were talking about, uh, there are, and I put it here. Sometimes documentation need to be updated or created, but because let's tell the truth, not always the projects are well documented, not always the projects have every specific step you need to install or you need to use it, or well, this derivates from the advocate one, because once you used open source project, once you use open source um, tool, you are going to realize the issues it has, and you can start contributing, saying, hey, I can fix this, hey, I think we can change this, hey, I see there's no clear readme for this section, I can add it. And just going back to the CB CBA2 um, comment from before, this is very true. Before making a contribution, raise an issue. This allows you to practice your presentation skills. This allows you to practice this writing, and it gives the whole community uh, a flag, like, hey, what do you think about this? Do you feel the same as me? Like, I'm the only one feeling like this is a problem, or I'm the first one flagging it, right? And for the maintainers, it tells them, like, okay, maybe your community is not happy with this readme, it's not happy with this issue, it's not happy with this functionality, with this uh, whatever thing, right? Uh, then we have a comment that to translate a code base into another language, you need to know the correct technical terms in that translation. This means speaking, yeah, I mean, like that languages. So, the stream is stuck. If you want to get started with translations contributions, free code can. Okay, oh, amazing. Okay, yeah. So that's it on documentation, right? You get it. You get it. And if not, you will have the questions and answer section to see this. Then about the translations, I see some comments here, and a very specific one that is to truly translate a code base into another language, you need to know the correct technical equivalence in terms that in that translated language. Uh, then I see a comment here about like I'm referring to languages like Spanish, French, not code languages like Python, C++, etc. But this is true for both of them. Um, if you mean like translate to a code language to another, like I don't know, this is a COBOL program, COBOL software, and I want to take it to Python or to Go or well, I don't know, JavaScript. Yes, you need to uh, both, sorry, and have the technical aspects to work it properly. And that's true also for language documentation in English to Spanish, for example, because you can't uh, just take it, put it on Google Translate, and take the output, because no, that won't be an accurate translation. You need to know the terms. But again, you can do it because you are natively developing in English, but you are natively speaking in this case, in my case, Spanish. Uh, I don't know. Maybe for you it's French. Maybe for you it's German. Maybe for you it's um, I don't know, any Chinese, any other language. But you can take that documentation. You can take that uh, README. You can take the whatever doc you need to learn a tool and translate it to your native language, because not all of developers, not all programmers, not all users have this skill you have, that is knowing both languages, knowing English and your native. So when you translate it, you can open this software, this project to a much larger user base. That will help a lot the project. That will how to say it, like I don't have the right word for this, but yes, then the users from your country, for your region that doesn't know English, will be able to use these tools that you like, to use this project that you that inspired you, that may, yeah, that will help the project that way. We have a comment here for Kubrick. Example, I don't know speak or read English, but I want to learn about the project on GitHub and contribute. The technical coding words need to be translated correctly into that language. Alberto is correct. We will translate without this correctly. Yeah, that is what I was saying. That you can just copy and paste. Don't be lazy on your contributions. You need to put effort. You need to put context. You need to put heart in contributing this, and that's another important thing. And here, for example, in the more section, I mentioned that it's about the community. I highlighted this advocate documentation and translation because I think that are the most popular one, and the advocate it's not that popular, but it's the easy one, and no one have it in mind, and I wanted to point that. But let's take a look here in the more about community. Remember, and I think this is the thing I like the most about open source, that it's based on community. It is based on the people that we want to make this tool great. It is not about selling, or it is not about commercial or business. I don't know. It is not about that. It's about us, because we as community decide what path we want for the project, what path we want to take this tool, and what things we would like to have it. And if it does not exist, we create it, right? So this community, this participation, these things, if the project does not have a Discord or a way, a forum, and I don't know, a way we can connect, talk to the maintainers, talk to the community, and say like, hey, would you like it? Uh, will be happy with it? If so, I can create it. I can create a Telegram. I don't know. I don't recommend it, but it's up to you. A WhatsApp chat for the maintainers, for the community. I recommend the Discord. So you can create a Discord server in which you can get along. I don't know, talk about future improvements. If no, Discord, talk about or organize monthly meeting. I don't know, something like that. Get involved with the community, and that's a no code contribution, and a big and really important one, if you ask me. Uh, Contribute to the community, contribute to the organization, ask the people what you like to see in this project, what you don't like about this project. Let's give everyone a voice, and that will help us write better code, right? What else about the community? What else about no code contribution? Educate. I talked about this before. Create guidelines, create how to start video, create a workshop, spread the word in your local communities, in other scenarios. If you're still a student, talk about the tool in your campus, educate. uh, Again, create a blog post about these and share it. That's a big no code contribution. Another one, if you're a designer, if you're a person uh, who likes these things about user experience, user interface, propose. Again, follow the steps Save it to tell us before. First, create an issue, talk with this with the full community, but propose, take this proactivity again, and say like, hey, I don't like the interface. I think the colors are too shy or too bright. I don't know. I'm not a designer. Um Take this and try to change or to propose new designs for this. And this is related to the accessibility. If you see or if you realize a project it's not accessible for anyone, you can change this. You can add I don't know, you can say reporting this book like, hey, screen readers can read this image, or the image is not clear, report it, or the colors are harm for these types of site, I don't know, the letter it's too small, let's make it big so more people can read it. These kind of things, flagging these, reporting these, helps the project. Sorry, being more accessible, being better. And again, the last I have pointed here is report the books. When you report these books to the maintainers, remember the big advantage of open source and having a lot of users using it, working, it's that it will be easier that the books don't hide, right? So help reporting these books, help raising issues, help flagging things, and that will be great open source contributions. So, uh, we're hitting the end. I'll, I- I'll like you to give me your questions. What else you think about open source? I really love, really how you interact during this session, your comments, because we made open source this talk. You give your points of view, you plus it on the comments, and well, we all take advantage of that. We all learn about these comments thanks to CB2, thanks to Kubrick, big thanks to Mana Codes. Well, all of you that were actively commenting here, that were actively helping all of your um, yeah, all of the students here, all of your, how to say it, classmates. This is not a class, but yeah, um, I would like to see questions here because I know that when a talk is good, you end up with more questions than the beginning. Uh, so if I see no questions here, that will mean my talk was not good, and I will feel bad about it. Where we can find you on socials? Well, you can find me as at Alberto, wherever you want. Alberto47. Here you can find me this way in every social media, and in LinkedIn I'm as Alberto Camarena. Here, no code does not include only documentation, right? There is low code or not. Yes, we focus here on non-code, but we see here a question from Kush. Sorry, I can Charlotte. Charlotte. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce him right, but there's also um, low code contributions. I want you to take a look at this tool I recently discovered. It's called Uncode that helps you translate like your designs in Figma. It's a plugin in Figma and takes the design and translate it to React code. And I think it's worth taking a look at this. It can help you create low code contributions. I didn't mention it here because that has code on it. So the idea here was to focus on totally no code, but low, like take a little bit of code and take it to a real project. Well, here you can have it, Uncodi. Take a look at it. Take a look at it. It's a Mexican startup. I recently talked to the creators, and well, it has potential. I wanted to show it to you, and it's related to the low code contributions here. Uh, Please follow CB2 on socials because he was awesome during these sessions with his participations. Uh, David Caution here, connect in Twitter. Muchas gracias, Alberto. It's funny when you read something in Spanish and you were talking in English because you get like that funny accent. Muchas gracias a ti. Thank you. If no questions, I started uh, running a no-code, low-code agency. It has great potential. That's amazing. Share it here. Share the link to whatever you have. I don't know, a main page, a Facebook page, social media page. Anyone? But yeah, share it here. Another gracias, Alberto. That means thanks in English for those one who doesn't know. I really hope you like this session. I really hope you consider more seriously about contributing, and now you know how to contribute with no code. Um, I will stay here some more minutes to see if any of you have more questions. If no, you're free to go. Again, really appreciate you being here, your all participations, and I really enjoyed the session. I hope you too as well. So um, I see no more questions. Oh yeah, I was going to share the link to the YouTube video about John Picosi, right? Let me share it with you. This is the talk from which I inspired this session. So take a look at it. It's here the link, and it's worth taking a look. What else? I can share with you also the article from the Rhythmic project, which I take the quotes from. So here's like the link for it too. uh, and what other resource I have for you? Uh, well, I think that's the two main links I wanted to share. Uh, in the comments, there's also a section of of comments that were shared by you, by CB2, by Gubrick, by Mana Codes. What other link do you share? Well, I think that's it. So you can take a look at it. Bye bye. It was a pleasure. See you tomorrow.